We're a little sentimental over in Hug House.
And with the release of the season 1 finale of Valence last weekend, it feels like a good time to look back on what we've accomplished so far and to really think about what we're working on next.
We realized that we all felt pretty much the same way about having finished our first season, which is to say that we don't really feel, or we don't know how to feel, or we don't feel yet. Something like that.
With everything going on right now, time doesn't feel real, and we're not really doing the things we would have done to celebrate if we could be together. So, well, I'll let past us explain.
47% goo.
Okay. Katie, what's your goo percentage?
Oh, sweet Jesus, I am goo baby.
Oh.
Goodness, goo baby.
Goo baby.
Yes.
So, how do y'all feel about season 1 being, like, really done? Like, done for everyone done?
Oh, I genuinely don't know how to answer that yet.
Right?
And not in a bad way. My brain is just like, no, that's a joke. No, that hasn't happened.
Anne?
I think because we've had like all the episodes done for so long and because we've been working on season 2, I don't know. It just hasn't hit me that season 1 is done just because we rolled right into working on season 2 like 8 months ago. And
the day that season 1, episode 1 released. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it just kind of feels like nothing to me right now. Not gonna lie. Like, I don't really feel... I feel like I should feel a sense of accomplishment. And the day that the finale episode dropped, I was definitely feeling very, like, sappy and not quite nostalgic, but, like, reflective, I guess.
Yeah.
But I haven't really felt like a sense of accomplishment or conclusion or anything else.
I mean, part of that might be at least a little bit because this is a 3-season series, and we've established that since well before day 1. And so it kind of feels like if we were from school systems that had 3 semesters instead of 2, this would kind of feel like the first one is over, and we didn't have a break. We should have had a break, but we've still got the 2 more semesters to go before we can feel like we've, graduated.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just in a weird place about it. I don't know. I'm very proud of our team and I'm proud of everybody. And I think that the finale sounded great, but I'm in a weird place. But I thought that today it would be nice for us to kind of go back to the first couple episodes of Scoring Magic.
Jesus Christ.
Oh boy.
I know.
Are these the clips you're going to play for us?
Yes. Give me one sec real quick. So the first episode of Scoring Magic was released like a year and 2 months ago.
Oh God.
I know. We've been doing this shit for over a year, which is really, like, obviously it's really hard. I mean, obviously we've been working on it for over a year, but it's really hard to wrap my brain around that just because of how everything has been. I will say, I feel like I do feel like quarantine is adding to the fact that, like, I don't really feel anything about the finale right now other than like
Absolutely.
being sentimental day of. Like, I would have gone out for a drink, or we could have had a party. You know, we could have done something.
Right. Well,
initially we had planned to come like harass you in Arizona, not during the hot times because I'd die. But yeah.
Well, ideally, I mean, in this imaginal fictional 2020 that everything didn't go to shit.
Yeah.
We would be getting ready to go to Podcast Movement like next week in Dallas.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I thought
So
it was... No, it was going to be like today that you and I were to fly out because I asked we push it back a day for Brenna's birthday.
Yeah. Yeah, we were...
Today would have been the day that we flew to Dallas. Oh, sad.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Well, now I know how I'm feeling, and it's just sad.
It's just bad. Oh, I just got a thunder boom. So if there's some thunder in the background of this recording, sorry.
Oh, yeah, there's a hurricane coming for us, Will, so...
Okay, cool.
Because 2020 can't get any worse.
Yeah, of course not.
Don't put that out in the world. Go outside and spit.
It's too late. It's too late. Will, play the clip.
And then I started writing for a pretty big publication for podcasts. And then another. And then I was writing for one of them weekly. And I was also writing my standard reviews and doing the weekly newsletter and doing weekly roundups of everything that I listened to and grad classes and writing for the sites I'd already been writing for and producing another podcast and helping curate a conference and...
So.
Yeah.
Yep.
What the fuck? What was I doing? This
Too much.
Oh my God. Listening to this list again was horrifying.
Yeah.
What the hell? So I guess to update now, I left that job. I don't work for one of the bigger publications. They closed our contract, which is new and is fine. I am just freelancing and working on podcasts. That's it. No grad school, no day job. Yeah. That's wild. So I know that for me, my workload has gotten substantially lighter. But what about for you two? Like, where are you right now with managing time when it comes to Hug House things?
I mean, and I know that you've picked up a lot more responsibilities and things, and I'm kind of just like chilling. How you doing?
So to do the similar list Will is doing. This time last year, I was finishing up grad school, working a full-time job, in the middle of prepping to move and doing Hug House stuff.
Oh my God, you hadn't moved yet. Oh my God.
No, I still hadn't moved. I was still living in my parents' house. So since then, I have moved and pretty much settled in, but I have not finished soundproofing my office yet, and that'll happen maybe never. Who knows? I moved. I'm done with grad school. I'm still working my full-time job, and now I am back to being the only employee. So my workload there has gone up. And I've also taken on a more active role in Valence with editing and stuff. So my workload with Hug House has gone up.
Editing scripts, to make that clear. Yeah.
Yep.
And you've done a lot of work for Radio Drama Revival too. Were you working for RDR last year?
When we started, no, it's been like a year almost to the day now since I started working for Radio Drama Revival too.
Jeez.
So I dropped off a lot of responsibilities and simultaneously picked up a whole bunch more because that's just how it is sometimes.
Yep. And Katie, you're pretty much like same old, right? Like you are basically where you started with responsibilities. Is that right?
As far as I can tell, yeah. Oddly enough, the fact that work has sort of remembered I exist because I pester them a lot more now. and that they do occasionally have work for me almost makes me feel better.
Yeah,
I'm still doing approximately the same amount of hug house work, I think. And now that I don't have to, oh shit, no, I know what the actual difference is. Now that I don't have to go into the office and like experience any of my coworkers' existence and have to listen to them just sniffle constantly instead of blowing their fucking noses, my stress levels have gone down considerably.
Good.
So quarantine in that regard is working out for me great. And in every other regard, bad.
Yeah, very bad. Very, very bad. Okay, let's move on to second clip.
Yeah, we both had the same initial interaction with it, which was your Monster of the Week role-playing game.
Yeah, the main characters from those novels became non-player characters in that campaign, mostly because I was lazy and didn't want to make new characters.
That's extremely valid, though.
And then I think a little bit into the campaign, I had mentioned that they were characters from a novel and then given you all access to that novel. The novel was never published or anything, but I think at that point, that's when you read the story in its original version in full.
Yes, yeah.
Yep, because we're gremlins. You gave us the first book, and then we all made grabby hands at you and said, please give us more, we want it.
Yeah, you told us there was more information.
And
my favorite was that you were bewildered that we fell in love with your characters.
I still am.
To the point of almost being like, no, how dare you please stop.
It's very surreal to me. Like, on one hand, I love those characters because they're very, very important to me. On the other hand, like, I wrote them very specifically as, like, awful.
Aww.
I love all of your children even more now.
I was going to ask. Yeah. My mind has changed on this. Katie, where do you stand on the babies?
I love them, but the ones in the book, the ones in the game, and the ones in the show all feel like different people in my head.
I was also going to ask that. Yeah, and same for you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so there are different iterations of every single character in Valence running around in my head at all times, which is
I'm so
awful.
Sorry.
Yeah. I was having like a really chaotic day. Oh, because I stayed up until like 7 a.m. And then I slept for like 3 hours. And then the next day I was on some chaos bullshit. I was like,
was this Saturday night into Sunday?
Yes. Yes.
Oh God.
So y'all got to see, like, this is just everything that happens in my brain is a fucking nightmare. Which is, you got like a taste of not quite Nico, but not quite not Nico.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's really interesting to hear that there are different versions of them in your head too. My perspective on the Switch, because I now love all of them and would be pissed if people didn't. I can still understand if people can't stand Liam. No, I can't. I can still understand if people can't stand early season 1 Liam. But with Joshy there, I don't want to not hurt the boy. I'm still team hurt the boy for sure.
But it's more like hurt comfort instead of just getting out the cricket bat.
Yeah, exactly. And I also want to say y'all called it. Everybody fucking loves Nico.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
yeah, he's the fucking worst. It's great.
And I think everybody, I think we expected everybody to love Flynn for sure. And I'm very glad that he has been consistently a fan favorite. I'm really delighted that people also react a lot to Grace.
Yes.
I'm very delighted by that. So I come to you with a question.
Uh-huh.
Create is feel good?
Is.
Create is feels good?
Is.
I don't know.
Friendship canceled.
Friendship canceled. Bye, everyone. Podcast has been real.
Who knew this was the last episode?
Wow.
Create is good, and have friends is good. Feel.
All of these are true.
Hi, I'm Katie Yeomans.
You're not wrong.
Hi, I'm Ann Baird.
Create is feel good.
Create is happen, and friends good. Feel is it.
Yeah, create is feels good.
It is.
Yeah.
We said it kind of as a goof, but actually,
And now we have merch of it.
But
No.
actually,
we put out a call on Twitter for people to send in any questions they had for us, and you all gave us some really great ones.
okay. Let's answer some of the listener questions that we have received.
Okay.
Gotta go
So-
to the tweeters.
Can I read them off in the order that we received them and then ignore the one from John?
I have an answer to the one from John.
Okay, so we can get to John's then.
Yeah. I always know what Nico is up to, but
That's
go
true.
ahead, continue.
Okay, so Tal wants to know what our favorite moment in the script and also favorite moment in the finished audio are.
Ooh. Oh. Ooh.
I know my answer to the script one.
Go for it.
It is Gatorade.
I think mine is too.
Oh, God.
It's gotta be Gatorade.
I think that other than Gatorade, my favorite moment in the script is actually probably Katie, the work that you did on the Liam Nico, I guess let's make out scene. I think it's very effective and I think it's very engaging and very funny. And I think that it worked really, really well.
Aw. Gay.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the dinner party.
Yeah.
When they send Liam out of the room so they can talk about him, and Liam only like sort of kind of hears, which is how we're able to hear it in the show. I like little moments like that where a character who doesn't necessarily have a whole lot of history of being cared for and looked after in this way kind of gets to experience that.
Right. And what's your favorite from the finished audio?
Okay, I'm trying to find where it is in the whole thing. Okay, so my favorite part in the finished audio is gonna be like, oh yeah, of course, Anne, you like that part. I really like, it's a tie between the interview with Morgan Riley and the journalist.
Mm-hmm.
I really like the way that comes across, just because, first of all, Naomi's voice is so good.
So
For
good.
sure.
So good.
And just like, I like that I don't know. I like the way it's presented, the way it ends up sounding in the end. And then also, I really like the moment in episode 7 with the benefit where they're standing around watching, and then suddenly everything goes to shit as soon as they realize that the Haven's going to get turned on.
Yeah. That moment is really, really good.
And just again, like, I like hearing Naomi and I like hearing Alex and just everybody there. It's a big scene with everybody involved. And I think that's really one of the only ones where like every single character is in that scene.
Yeah. It's a huge scene.
And I just like hearing the whole cast come together.
It's very good.
Oh, I have two, and honestly, they're both John's fault.
Yeah.
So the first one is the "you have none shit" moment when, like,
Oh, it's so good.
he wasn't supposed to sound so tender. There wasn't supposed to be fondness yet. And he's already like, "You dumb bitch, I'm gonna like you later, I can tell."
Yeah. Yeah.
And then in the finale, when, and I know I wrote this line, but like I did not expect John to deliver it the way that it happened with the, hey, Blondie, you want to fucking fight? And I was like,
No, like we knew on the page that would sound away, right? Like we had it that he was going to shout, but his delivery somehow still was so fucking choice.
It was so good.
Oh, so good. So good.
Oh, I'm mad about it.
My favorite moment from the finished audio is still, I think, definitely that the end scene of episode 11 with Liam on the roof of the apartment building doing some big lightning magic and like being stoked about it. First off,
That's episode 10.
Oh, fuck.
Episode 11 is where Nico and Liam make out. It's definitely not that one.
Yes.
No. No, for more on that one, listen to the last episode of Scoring Magic. No, episode 10 then. Like, I really like that it's a solo performance. It's just Josh. And technically we have Liam and Liam's inner voices playing off of each other, but it's just him. I think that the sound design on it is incredible, and I'm very proud of the way that I use music in the show is that like certain things have certain themes. And I don't know if I've talked about this on Scoring Magic. I don't think I have, but I've talked about it elsewhere for sure. The music that plays under that scene is the same music that plays under Liam's like really intense breakdown from episode 4. And ever since episode 4, I knew that I would be using the same song in episode 10. And I really liked how it came across. I think that it worked super well. I think that if you're paying attention to those music cues and those kind of like leitmotifs that we put in, I think you can see like how much he has grown, and it makes me very happy. Next question. Yeah?
Yeah. Okay. So Leslie asked, what turned out to be our biggest asset going into the project, and what assets will we arrange for season 2, individually or jointly?
Oh, Christ. I would say that our biggest asset for season 1 was having a whole book. And I would argue that was also our biggest asset for season 2.
Yes, although we did kind of throw chunks of it out of the window. But the ones that we kept. I mean, there's like a sizable chunk that I did lift directly from the book for one episode.
I don't remember what I did for any of the scripts. I don't remember anything.
Head empty.
And I think that what's going to help us a lot for season 2, and already has with writing the scripts, is knowing our cast. Because I know that there's some lines in the script where we're just like, yeah, Joshy, go wild here.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, those exact words, Joshy, go wild, in brackets.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, because we trust our actors at this point, the ones that are established, and some of the ones that we're just bringing on. We trust them to know their characters and to kind of go off book a little bit if they need to.
Mm-hmm.
And also if they need help or want actual words, to ask us for them. I think if Josh wanted actual words, he would ask us. I'd like to think so.
I mean, he does. He's asked us for shit before. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, next one.
Okay. Claudia Rose asked, she said she would love to know what was the toughest part of the season to get right, and what part of the season we as a team felt like we took the biggest risk with. And also said that she has so much fondness for the show and so much respect for the team behind it.
I think that the hardest thing to get right, and also the biggest risk we took, is balancing Liam and Liam's inner voice and trying to balance having a, like, again, I will say, I think pretty genuinely unlikable protagonist in the first few episodes. Trying to balance that with like having a show that people want to keep listening to, you know, like trying to convince people like he will grow.
Yeah.
He has to start here for reasons. Stick with us. I think that was the riskiest thing and the hardest to pull off.
Yeah, Liam's a real shitbag in the first couple episodes.
I mean, yeah.
I can't even put it gently on that boy.
Yeah, well, and I think part of that is there is a lot to the dynamic between Liam and Flynn that we don't get to see right away. And parts of the dynamic that used to be there that we hint at and that I think Caleb and Josh do beautifully, but it takes us a little time to get there and for people to see that maybe Liam doesn't spend every minute of his life just being real fucking sad.
Next question?
Okay,
Yes.
the next question comes from our own John.
Yeah.
Nico himself.
Uh-huh.
He wants to know
You
what...
have to pronounce it as it's spelled.
That's what I was going to do.
Good.
He wants to know what source business was Nico really up to while Liam's new world collapsed around him?
Yeah, so I always know what Nico is up to every time he is anywhere. I always have a log of what kind of criminal activity he is up to, or just, I guess, other activity. I just always know what's up with Nico. Nico was in part of Portugal, and he was stealing and then smuggling some magically enhanced cosmetics and other products like some water bottles, some vitamins, some hairbrushes that are used to help people who are not muses become influencers. And he was working with a small team to get this done because it's under very, very, very secure lock and key. The types of cosmetics, like this is not something that would be... We go into this a little bit in season 2. The cosmetics aren't illegal, but are not legal either. There's just no jurisdiction on them. And muses definitely do get they get put away for having them. That's not the charge that they are arrested for, but that's a cause, if that makes sense. But the real problem was with the water bottles, vitamins, hairbrushes, etc., which are all basically like sponsorship products. So these are things that would be used in like sponsored posts on Insta that are not accurately described as sponsored posts. And because they are hit with doses of magic, they are meant to attract more buyers, which is very, very, very illegal. So smuggling that out, first off, stealing it was an ordeal. And then smuggling it was an ordeal. And then getting it to influencers back in the States was also an ordeal. So that is what he was up to.
God, that's like... I had not realized that you were planning out these intricate details, which is hilarious to me because you've said in the past you don't care for world building.
It's not world building in my head. I don't know how it's not world building in my head, but it doesn't feel like it. I don't know. The thing is that I'm not world building. The world is just it's already built. It's there. I'm just taking details from it.
You like the kind of world building that's more like character driven. You don't doing like the how does magic work? I don't know. It just fucking does.
It's fictional. That's how it works. It's fucking magic.
But, the logistics of where was Nico at this time on this day, except given
You're like, oh, I got that.
The time fool.
He was doing this for this reason to support this cottage industry of crime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's not so much a spoiler as a tip. Remember how Will said they know what Nico is doing at all times he's not present in the show? After all of season 2 is out, you'll want to come back and ask us again what Nico was up to during the episodes where he spends some time out of sight. Trust me.
And even though that's a wrap on season 1 of Valence, Scoring Magic isn't going anywhere. We'll still be here, giving you peeks into our process, our growth, our successes, and our mistakes.
But for right now, we want to say thank you. Thank you to every one of you for listening and for following along with us, both on Valence and here. It means the world to us. We hope you'll stick around.